Around 1 p.m. Saturday afternoon, Tarboro police respond to a shooting here at Master Such Barbershop. But that was only the beginning. And then they responded to another shooting here at Lot 48B in Mobile Home Estates. Now, obviously, I'm not underground in the pipes, but you'll get the demonstration. Brian Lucas tells us the chemical is added to the water to help get the dirt out of the pipes that take the water from the treatment facilities. Cell phones are part of our everyday lives anymore. They allow us to... Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, it's FaceTime. I need to take this. Hey, what's up? What's up? Well, cell phones are one of the biggest distractions in crashes involving teens. Baseball is coming back to Kinston, with the Junior College World Series coming this Memorial Day weekend. It's that time of year where people are putting away the parkas, hats, and gloves and breaking out the swim trunks and sunscreen, which is why restaurants like Snappers here are giving me a glass of water so I can toast to the coast.
He is live in New Bern from the scene of that crash. Good afternoon, Chris.
Oh, good afternoon, Anna. Now, police are saying a driver came down George Street here around 60 to 70 miles per hour. It makes it a little shocking because the police station, it's about 150 yards down the road. This is just outside the Biblical House of God. Here's what's left of a telephone pole. Just a stump in the road. You got wood chips, sawdust, and the destruction doesn't end there. Parts of the car lying in this sidewalk. As you can see, it gets worse because now you got this brick wall. It's gone, just leaving nothing besides just chunks of rubble lying here in the sidewalk and the street. That's what's left of there.
He was first on the scene this morning. Chris, what can you tell us about the investigation?
Well, good afternoon, Anna, and you said it right there. We were first on the scene. Let's take a look at there. They're still investigating now. They set up the crime team's tape just as we got here. Now it's around 8:30 this morning. You can still see investigators. They've really been looking at those train cars down there. They've also looked in the woods a little bit, but the search is really focused on those two train cars. There's the one that's got like a rust orange and a black right down there. Highway 17 sees plenty of traffic.
Just had to be passing going home.
But it's usually cars.
Okay, out here in the middle of the road.
I hadn't seen very many around here. I ain't seen one that big around here in a long time.
In the road, a gator.
You see them on the river all the time, but so we ran out here to see if it was true.
And a pretty big one.
Godzilla, man, jeez. I'm pretty sure he'll eat one of my dogs.
Exactly how big is anyone's guess.
7, 7.5, 8, somewhere along there.
Yeah, about 8, 9.
And a gator in the road draws quite the crowd.
I heard it on the radio and just came down here.
They don't have a code for that, right?
Nah.
If they do, I don't know the code.
More and more people showed up to watch the gator. And in the day of social media, an alligator on the road even shows up on news feeds.
Yeah, somebody was talking about there's an alligator at the county line. I was like, yeah, I don't know where that's at.
Contact.
Then the first wildlife control officer arrives to assess the situation.
When I got out of the vehicle, I was just checking out the situation to see what status the alligator was in and make sure it wasn't in any kind of distress or injured at that point.
Then a game plan is made on how to handle the gator.
Talked to my immediate supervisor, the sergeant over the county, and he's coming out here and we're just going to try to move the alligator in the best way possible.
With a second wildlife officer on the scene, it's time to get to work.
I like to tire them out for a little bit, and they don't really have much endurance.
It's all handled cautiously so neither human nor gator gets hurt.
We don't pick them up and move them great distances. We just want to remove him from the threat right here.
A truck ride for this gator to a safer home. Reporting in Jones County, Chris Hoffman for News Channel 12.
He joins us now live from the crash scene in New Bern. Chris?
Oh, good evening, Wes. Now, the scene here at the Biblical House of God on George Street has improved quite some time. You can see the bricks have really been cleaned up in that parking lot. They went all the way from that corner there as our cameraman takes a look at that all the way to the window. You can see basically across that parking lot. A member of the parish and the pastor were both out all day cleaning this up, and they tell us it was quite the scene this morning.
I was here about 2 seconds after it happened. I heard it. I felt it.
What Howard Nelson felt, a boom and crash, leaving a path of destruction.
You're not seeing the telephone pole they went through first.
What telephone pole?
Yeah, that's sort of the question I asked. What telephone pole?
Then, as the sun rises, it brings the wreck scene to light.
But I do thank God that everybody, as far as we know, is okay.
New Bern police say around 2:30 Thursday morning, a driver hit the curve on George Street, driving speeds of 60 to 70 miles per hour. The car crashed, causing $75,000 to $80,000 in damage, but it could have been more if not for the wall.
If that wall had not stopped the speed and cut them off, it would have been in our choir stand and in the pulpit.
The church pastor says someone from above was watching out for them.
Even though it don't look like it, but it worked together for our good.
As the sun beats down on the parking lot of the Biblical House of God, the cleanup begins.
So I'm not mad. You know, I'm not mad at all. I'm thankful. I am very thankful that God put a shield of protection.
Now, at this time, the driver of that car is still out there, and the police have not found that person yet. They are still looking for them at this time. They say they have arrested the passenger, Amanda Erickson of New Bern, for obstruction to an investigation. Police say if you have any information on the driver or anything that involves this crash, to give them please give them a call. Reporting live in Craven County, Chris Hoffman for News Channel 12. Sunday might be Mother's Day, but some people aren't so happy with Mother Nature, who brought in Tropical Storm Ana. I spoke with a couple of fishermen who said the water levels were up to these beams last night, with some waves crashing onto the pier.
Call it a good shark, 50+ inches.
Raymond Marshburn says Tropical Depression Ana made for an interesting night of fishing in North Topsail Beach.
Yeah, we did good. We did good for what happened last night. Yeah. I'm happy about it. Yeah.
The seas beneath the pier were rough Sunday, but not as bad as Saturday night.
Yeah, waves probably looking like, 2 to 3 feet. But last night they were probably good 15 feet when they were coming up to this pier.
As Ana continues to head our way, officials are encouraging the public to take precautions.
Stay inside, stay out of the water, and prepare for the possibility of still some loss of utility.
Assistant Town Manager Karen Faulkner says as new alerts come, North Topsail residents will be notified.
I'd be definitely updating my property owners through our reverse 911 system and posting on our social sites. If I see anything that is hazardous, we're just, hanging in there, and I think we're going to be okay.
City officials do tell me that emergency crews will be out and ready when needed. Reporting in Onslow County, Chris Hoffman for News Channel 12. Wes, this Memorial Day weekend follows a recent study by the US 70 Corridor Commission showing about 1,000 accidents happening between the James City and Havelock section of that road in the past 3 years. People I spoke with along that stretch of the highway say they aren't too surprised by these findings. People come into Pamlico Marine and Trailer, gearing their boats up for the weekend. The weather may be promising for travel, but the way to get there might not.
All you got to do is say it's bad, bad, bad.
Lawrence Tucker's customer is talking about Highway 70.
Well, basically what we see is a lot of traffic.
And with all that traffic, there's a lot more accidents.
I'm not surprised at all.
He says the crashes are almost like clockwork.
You can sit here and at least 2 or 3 times a day, either a fire truck will go by or a rescue squad will go by.
State Trooper Stephen Brown had just responded to an accident when we found him.
I would say each trooper that we have in the district probably gets a couple a week in this area.
For people like Tucker, he witnesses one cause of the accidents right at the stop sign outside his door.
I'd say at least 50% of the people never stop. They just keep going, and they never slow up.
And then there's the speed.
Nobody rides 55 on that road.
Which Tucker says not only causes accidents, but hurts businesses along that stretch.
Once you ever get past where you want to stop, you're not going to turn around and go back.
Tucker feels driving slower would bring down the number of crashes and bring up his business.
As far as business is concerned, we would like to see traffic slow down.
Now, I spoke with NCDOT officials, and they tell me there are plans in the work for creating a better way to commute through that part of Highway 70, but don't expect to see any construction start soon. They say the timetable leads them to start sometime around the year 2023. Chris Hoffman for News Channel 12. A Sunday afternoon at the Southern National Motorsports Park in Kentucky brings hundreds of people to the stands. It also brings out the drivers who have a passion to race.
When I was 15 at Coastal Plains, and we raced 4 cylinders, and then I've been racing ever since.
Lenoir County native Haley Moody comes from a racing legacy. Her father Jerry Moody raced at the tracks throughout the Eastern Carolina area. He helped others who had a desire to race.
Yeah, you know, Jerry Moody, I mean, he was an awesome guy. He gave me a chance to have a chance to keep racing in late model stock, and he gave a lot of people a lot of chances.
Matt McCall raced in the car that Moody owned, eventually winning a United Auto Racing Association championship.
He was a very cool dude. He was a racer, crazy hard racer. It was cool to be able to work with him.
As for his daughter Haley, she continued to grow and won her first late model race in 2013. The excitement would not last. Jerry Moody passed away less than 2 days later at the age of 71. His widow, Becky, remembers his final words.
Jerry said something, and in a minute, here comes Haley, and I said, "What is it, baby?" She said, "Dad called me," and he grabbed her hand and took his last breath.
And that's what brought the drivers out to the track Sunday, a race to remember Jerry Moody.
It's pretty cool because my dad's always had a car here, and I know he'd want me to race it, so it's pretty cool.
Starting in the inside row of number 4, that's the number 50 car of Haley Moody. A lot of mixed emotions on this particular race, racing in the memory of her dad.
And for 100 laps, drivers battled it out in Moody's memory.
I'm just glad I had someone in my life for 30 years that so many people loved and thought so much of.
Becky Moody watches as a mother would with concern, making sure her daughter is okay. She's the only female racer in this group. Then comes the last lap.
For the last time down the back straightaway, it's a third of a mile left for the car number 51 of Matt McCall. He's going to come to the checkered flag.
Haley may not have won, but for the Moody's, this is still a win.
If we couldn't win, I'm glad they won.
McCall says the Ford-loving Jerry was somewhat with them at the end.
Well, I don't want to give him too much credit because we have a Chevy in here, so he probably was a little bit, but not 100%.
McCall giving his winning trophy to the family it honors. Chris Hoffman for News Channel 12.